Why morning training is the most important step in breaking a bad habit. Today, we're talking about one of the most overlooked but most powerful strategies for breaking a bad habit. Not moderation, not motivation, not sheer willpower, but morning training. Now, this might sound simple if you're trying to break alcohol addiction or any destructive habit. But this single decision can change the trajectory of your entire life. It certainly worked for me, and let me explain why. So I've got 8 points to share. So 1, morning training creates an immediate identity shift. Breaking a habit is a battle of identity. You're trying to stop being the person who reacts and become the person who leads. When you train in the morning, before work, before stress, before the world piles on, you send a message to yourself. I am someone who chooses the hard thing early. And that identity shift creates discipline that carries into the rest of the day. So, evening training doesn't offer that. It's reactive. It happens after the chaos. Morning training is proactive. And that's what rewires who you are. 2, it breaks the old habit loop before it starts. Most negative habits fire late in the afternoon or evening. Cravings, urges, boredom, stress, loneliness. But morning training interrupts that loop 10 to 12 hours earlier. You've already elevated dopamine naturally, built momentum, created an accomplishment. You've had your first win for the day. You've replaced stagnation with movement. And when cravings show up later, you've already built a psychological shield. So evening workouts, they come when the battle has begun. I'm also going to share with you recently, a guy came to me who is overweight and he can't get the scale to move. He tells me he's doing everything right, but he just can't get himself to train in the morning. He has to do his training in the evening. I wasn't going to get into an argument with him because that's his view. But I will watch on curiously over the coming months and see if anything changes for him. Then number 3, it eliminates decision fatigue. The biggest enemy of someone trying to quit alcohol is not temptation, it's decisions. All day long, you're burning mental energy. By 5 p.m, most people are exhausted. That's when the old habit wins. Morning training removes the daily question, will I train today? You've done it at 7 a.m. or before. Decision removed, momentum created. So point 4 is that it immediately cleans up the day. Have you ever noticed that when you start your day with discipline, you behave differently? Morning training naturally leads you to better food choices, more hydration, fewer emotional crashes, less procrastination, more focus and purpose. It certainly was for me. It becomes extremely hard to binge, drink, or sabotage yourself after you've invested effort early. You start protecting your progress, and that is a major psychological shift. 5, it replaces alcohol's chemical reward with a healthier one. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to quit alcohol is the dopamine imbalance. Morning training fixes this at the start of the day. You get dopamine, serotonin, adrenaline, endorphins, and BDNF for brain clarity. And what this is exactly, I'll come to in a later video. But this is the cocktail that replaces the artificial high with a natural one without destroying your health or your life. Evening training produces these benefits too, but too late to support you through the hardest part of the day. So 6, it increases consistency. The number 1 habit to change, morning has fewer distractions, fewer excuses, fewer interruptions. Nothing derails a morning routine. but 1,000 things can derail an evening one. Consistency builds confidence. Consistency builds discipline. Discipline breaks addiction. This is why the Warrior Kickstarter starts with morning habits. They're the foundation of our program. 7, it improves sleep, which reduces cravings and self-sabotage. Poor sleep leads to emotional instability, late night snacking, cravings, anxiety, short-fused decision-making. Training late can keep your nervous system activated for hours. Morning training aligns perfectly with your circadian rhythm, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep deeper. Good sleep is a weapon in this fight. Then 8, morning training becomes the anchor for the new identity. When you replace a bad old habit, well, alcohol in my case, with a good new habit, training, you need an anchor point. Morning is the anchor that never moves. It sets the tone for the entire day. No matter the situation, no matter what comes up during your day, you've already banked this win. So breaking a bad habit requires certainty, not chaos. Morning training gives the structure your old habit destroyed. So, my final message, if you're trying to break alcohol addiction or any habit that's been pulling your life in the wrong direction, start with this. Train in the morning. Not for the workout, but for the identity shift, for the momentum, for the clarity, for the discipline. Evening training is exercise. Morning training is transformation. Build your warrior mornings and the rest of the habits will fall into place. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks very much.